They can make or break your business.
No one thinks like that.
Yeah, I do.
The direction, yes.
Haven't given that much thought, no.
I'm dealing with that myself right now.
Yeah. You can't be everywhere and you can't be all things to all people.
Exactly. So what'd you just call me? Welcome to the second episode of the Barbershop Chronicles. Today, my guest is John. And this gentleman owns a very prominent gym in Bondi and has recently grown his business internationally, which is very cool. A lot of cool stories. He has a lot of good tips on how to become a better entrepreneur. This is it.
Thank you, man. Cheers.
What's up, my bro? How are you?
Mate, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
How's your day been?
Well, it was good. I didn't party last night. Didn't drink last night at all. So I'm.
Damn.
I was a good boy. I was meant to go fucking hot air ballooning this morning actually, but that got cancelled. By the way.
Is that because of wind?
Yes, sir. So I got a text from them yesterday afternoon saying like that the wind conditions aren't good enough. So you know what? It's a good thing that they said that just in case we were getting, floating around in the sky,
I'd rather find that shit out on the ground than in, 500 feet.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah. So we are doing number 2 on the sides, the usual trim on top, kind of make it messy, and we'll get to the beat after, yeah?
Perfect.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah, they cancelled my hot air balloon ride because of the thing.
Yep.
Do you know how they control the hot air balloon? Do you know how they control, how they
control the direction?
The direction, yes.
I haven't given that much thought, no. I know how they go up and down.
So up and down, they turn the heating up or down, right?
Yeah.
But with the left and right, the wind blows in different directions at different altitudes.
Yeah, right.
So they have knowledge at, say, 5,000 feet, it's going east, and 7,000 feet, it's going west.
Yeah, right.
So they just make it go up and down. And then
that's how they turn left.
And then they say left, right, north, south, whichever. Which blew my mind. Like, who figured that out? You know?
Have you been up before, or was that going to be your first?
My first.
Yeah.
So I booked that a couple of weeks ago, and this is the second time they've cancelled it, so I have to reschedule it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, how's the gym going?
Mate, good.
Yeah.
We're in a good place at the moment, so everything's going well. We're training up the youngest of the team at the moment, so there's 6 in the team, to prepare for Vietnam. So that's
cool, man. Yeah, you just opened up a gym in Vietnam, right?
Well, it's opening.
Opening.
Okay,
so when does it open?
So I go over there in July to do first and final interviews.
Yes.
Set the gym up and then set the programming up.
Yep.
And then I'll go back over there for sort of a launch date that will hover around about October.
Yeah.
Thereabouts, but it all depends on the building of the place. So that's what's slowing us down a little bit. So friends and family launch.
It's still called AGOGA?
It'll be powered by AGOGA. So the place is called the Grain House.
The Grain House.
The Grain House, that's the resort.
Yes.
And it's called Grain House powered by AGOGA. So the gym aspect is the AGOGA, and then of course the resort is the resort.
Bro, very, very cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So it's exciting. It's something else. Hopefully I'll get to follow the sun.
Nice.
But,
very cool, man.
Yeah.
So how long have you had the gym now for?
I started there in 2017.
2017?
2017,
okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought when you were 17, I thought it meant that. So it's been like 10 years since you've been doing that.
17, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, fair enough.
So 2017.
Yeah, 2017, cool.
I was working at Fitness First for many years, and then came across the road, started working there as just a trainer. And with the intent to purchase a second location. I loved the mindset of what they had created and the model that they generated.
Very cool, man.
And so that was always the plan, to get a second location. And then, things happened and it didn't quite eventuate. But the previous owner said, how would you like to buy it outright? And I said, look, I don't know. And the previous owner said, what's your biggest fear? And I said, everyone leaves. It's been your gym for years.
Yeah.
And he said, well, let's assume there's some chaos, but let's assume not everyone leaves. So what's your next biggest fear? And he really challenged me with that question. He said, look, don't answer it now. Go away and think about it and come back.
Yeah.
So I left. And in that day, myself and my other half were going to a friend's friend's birthday. And we were on the lift in Paddington. And in the lift, I said to my wife, I know what my biggest fear is. Someone else buys it and they turn it into something else.
Oh.
And I said, at that moment, whatever fear I hit after that
Yeah.
wouldn't matter. I just needed to make sure that it was ours, and we'd just figure out the rest.
Oh,
so that was it.
Cool is that?
So that kind of made our decision for us.
But you know, one thing I've noticed about you as well is that you're so organized with your stuff. Like, I've stayed at your place overnight, had a big night with you and everything, right?
Yep.
And bro, and I saw this massive whiteboard in your office, and I go, bro, what is this? I go, this is how we organize everything.
That's my head on a whiteboard.
Bro,
that's my brain on a whiteboard.
That's so fucking cool.
You don't want to live in there for too long.
Makes sense.
It's nuts. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so any idea we have, I've always been a big believer bad handwriting is better than a good memory. So if I've got a concept or a design or whatever, I just put it down on a bit of paper, and no matter how many times I tell myself, it's all right, I'll remember it. I never do. So I get it down on a bit of paper.
Oh, cool, man. What'd you do before the gym?
Oh, geez. Well, okay. So I've been in the fitness industry for 17 years now.
Yes.
I was in the alcohol industry for 14 years prior to that.
That's right.
So yeah.
You were in France for a little while?
I was over there for a while. I've been all over the place with the alcohol industry. So,
nice.
Yeah. But so I lived in London for a couple of years, Edinburgh for a couple of years, Nottingham for a year. I was opening up restaurants over there.
Wow.
So there was a whole mix of things that I was doing in the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I that kind of ran its course. Oh, you're a gentleman. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, man. Cheers. Yeah, it kind of ran its course, and I was looking for something else to do, and I feel like at that time I'd learnt enough about business that I could be the brand.
Nice.
Like I could, it was an opportunity for me to go out on my own. So I got into the fitness game and started selling myself.
Bro, how cool is that?
That's what PTs do. Yeah, there's not a lot of difference between us and the oldest professional
in the world. For the best ones, you pay more money, bro.
That's exactly right.
Exactly
Yeah. It's like going to a strip club, looking at Fitness First. You pay an overhead, and whatever you make, you take. So, same thing.
Yeah, man. Oh, shit. Where'd you grow up?
Adelaide.
Oh, you grew up in Adelaide, yeah?
Yeah. So Adelaide, it was funny. I was only thinking about this the other day. I left Adelaide mainly because where I lived, where I worked, and all my friends were all within like a 5K radius. Like it was just it just had a small town mindset for me. And back then Adelaide wasn't really, humming. I'm talking 30 years ago. Now it's a thriving metropolis. There's a lot of eateries in Rundle Street East, and it's a great place to go.
Yep.
But I really struggled myself thinking there must be something else out there. So 30 years later, I've lived in different countries, I've worked in different jobs, and now what do? I work in Bondi, I live in Bondi, my mates are in Bondi, I eat in Bondi, and I'm happy. So
nice.
I've gone full circle.
How good is that, man? Very cool, bro. Very, very cool. If you were to give advice to anyone that is starting business or is running a business right now, what would you say to them, bro?
Well, there's a lot of different directions I could take in that. So the one I'll take for this is the two largest expenses that you'll have in running a business if you're a small business owner is the rent of the place and staff.
Preaching to the choir right now.
Yeah, exactly right.
I know what
so let's assume that rent is a given.
Yep.
Therefore, the variable that you can have on the impact that you have on your business is the staff that you have. They can make or break your business because no one's you. Everyone wants to come and see you.
Yeah.
And that is a blessing and a curse in the same vein.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that myself right now.
Yeah. You can't be everywhere and you can't be all things to all people.
Exactly.
But you'd love to be able to have 3 or 4 Vics in here. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you get that without laying down the law, being a prick, and how do you find the ability to be able to manage or lead a team, but doing it in a way that they just feel motivated and buoyed by the fact that they get to be here, not have to be here for an hourly rate.
Yeah.
And so the feedback off of that, the learning I had off of that is that I've been a manager at different levels for different businesses for the better part of maybe 25 years.
Yeah. And you thought you had that down pat?
If you'd spoken to me 25 years ago, I'd say, this is what it means to be a manager. And if you'd spoken to me 5 years after that, I would have said I was an idiot then. This is what it means to be a manager. And every stage along the way, I've learned something that is realigned that mindset. And the learnings I've had and the mistakes you've made.
Yep.
People just want to feel loved. They want to feel recognised. That's it. So, and it shouldn't be harder than that. And yet you see a lot of, Gordon Ramsay's a made man. But a lot of people take the way he speaks to people and assume that that's how they've got to speak to people. When they're not made, when they're just coming up, they feel like they've got to swear at people. And that's such a learning that I had from the very get-go of being in business. So now it's about, sitting down, asking questions. Where do you guys want to go? We're building up the
What are
next
your
quarter.
plans and what are your aspirations in life and all that,
Correct.
right?
Yep. And tell them what mine are. They need to be along they need to be on the same line. They need to have the same focus as I have for the business.
Yes.
So I need to bring them on that journey. I need to say, this is what I want to hit. These are the targets I want to hit. Tell them the numbers. Like they need to know about the business.
Yeah, right.
And then so it's twofold. Not telling them about that, and then having an understanding as to what their goals and inspirations are.
Bro, you need to package that and sell that, my brother.
There's some thought there. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, just like an insight as to what we do in our business. Every second Thursday, we do a team meeting. Because of the structure of our business, we have to program and reprogram our sessions every 2 weeks. Each of the coaches have a vested interest in creating those programs. They're set a challenge, they do some research, they create the programs.
Yep.
And then every second Thursday we come together and they get to present those programs.
Yes.
And then it's leave your dignity at the door, be humble enough to accept feedback and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And that's a bigger challenge for most than you would think. There's a lot of people out there that think, I don't need to be told that. I know how to write a program. Don't tell me what to do. They're probably not for us, to be honest. All of our coaches are.
Because they don't have the room to grow in their head.
Yeah. So
right?
You look at any one of my coaches here, whatever age they are and whatever experience they've had in their life, they are all thirsty for learning more.
Yeah.
They are so hungry.
Yeah.
So that's part of our mantra, part of our culture.
See, I think that is the hardest part for growing your business in general, I think, is to finding people with that same mindset, right?
Yeah.
And having the ability to be able to filter those people out and to be able to go, I need these people in my life because they're the ones that will not just grow your business, but make you grow as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Because we're growing too. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I think I'm a pretty good barber, but what I'm also learning is how to run a business.
You'll never stop.
Yeah.
You'll never stop. Yeah. And having that hunger to always want to learn more, I think that's the secret sauce in being successful today, tomorrow, 10 years' time.
Yeah.
We went through a stage for the onboarding process of getting a new coach recently. And I grabbed one of my coaches and we sat down and we just sort of threw some stuff on that same whiteboard that you saw.
Yes.
What is it that we're looking for and what process should we create to get that person? Like, who do we want?
Yep.
And what we found was there was about a 16-day process from the day they walk in to say, are you looking for a coach, to the day that they potentially start with us. So 16 days. And there's a bunch of stuff that happens in there. And over that 16 days, there are 4 opportunities to hit the go, no-go button. So if they're not for us at stage 2, then that's fine. They get told. But once they go through those 4 stages, we're pretty settled and confident that they are the right model for us and we're right for them. And off the back of going through this process, my coach said to me, what happens if someone walks in and they are awesome and we want them to start straight away? And I said, well, my learning is no matter how good someone is, it is harder to start them thinking that they're right just because you need a coach and then working out in 3 weeks' time that they weren't quite the right fit. Now you've got to have a seriously uncomfortable conversation
with them.
Guys, you are really good. And I talked you up so much. And yes, you got the job straight away. So I'm literally walking myself backwards going, yep, I thought you were awesome, but it turns out you're not quite for us.
No.
What a shit conversation to have. So I'd much rather say, look, you may well be the right fit for us, but I'm still going to get you through this 16-day process. And if they have the time and they are committed to doing that, then they're for us. And it's not if they don't, it's not that they're not for us, but right there and then, it's all about timing. They've just got to be, we need to make sure that we're the right fit for them because we're a small team. And if I have one more person added to the team based on the size of the team, that could end up being an 18 to 20% impact on the growth of the team. So, if you got 4 people in the team and you have a 5th person join that team, that's a 20% impact on that team.
Right.
So if that's
because
the wrong
whatever
fit,
they contribute to the entire team, it's 20%.
Correct. So if that's the wrong fit, that's 20% of the wrong fit. That's a seriously large chunk.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah. So it's a bit when you look at it like that.
No one thinks like that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know, but that's what
you got to think like a nerd.
Where a lot of entrepreneurs really struggle with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So and so the smaller you are, the more impact it has because everyone knows you.
Yeah.
You have yourself and Isaiah. Someone else comes in here, they're a 33% impact on your business.
Yeah.
That's massive.
That's huge, man.
Yeah. And if it takes a month, it takes 2 months, then it takes 2 months.
Yeah. I've had staff in the past that only lasted like a week
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Just a few days. They had no drive. They didn't want to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and it brings back down the entire energy of your entire shop.
And you.
And me, bro. I was rocking up to work angry.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've got to deal with this guy now.
Yeah.
And then I had to fucking, you know, call it and go, bro, listen, man.
Yep.
I can't have you here anymore. I'm sorry. You're not good for my health.
Yeah.
My mental health and my business anymore.
From a very young age of working behind the bar, I always said I'd rather be understaffed when it's 4 deep at the bar on a Friday night, but have the right staff to work with, than be fully staffed and have 2 idiots behind the bar that slow you down.
Yeah.
And without even realising, like I'm just saying that now, but working on the system that we now have to hire the right staff, that I didn't actually think about that statement of my 21-year-old self saying that at the time. I've clearly always thought like that. I'd rather work hard with the right people and be understaffed.
Than to be with the wrong people, man.
Yeah.
How's Gaj?
Gaj is going well. Yeah, he's going real well. This is why I ended up stuffing up on Saturday night. Because for the longest time, I was going...
Cheers, my bro.
Thanks, mate. I was going to Top Gun on Friday night. I was not going on Saturday night. We bought the tickets ages ago. We went to Top Gun last night.
Because I still remember when we checked our calendars, it was clear the entire time. And I was like, okay, what happened there? Even then you thought that you were going there on Friday night.
Yep. So Gaj
Understood.
texted me on Thursday and he said, are you free? I've got a spare ticket to go and see Collingwood Swannies on Friday night. I said, Matt, I can't. I'm going to Top Gun. I would have loved to. And I thought, I better just check. So I called Jason and said, mate, are we going tomorrow night or is it Saturday night? He said, no, Saturday. I'm like, oh man.
No.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I was looking forward to it as well. And I'm like, bro, what happened? So... this is the thing, right? I am not as organized as you are.
Yeah, still fucked up.
but I'm telling you, this was my plan for this weekend.
Yeah.
I worked Saturday, then my plan was to
be Oreo
with Oreo Nights.
Yeah.
By the way, Oreo Night, but that's what they... So, Gaj, our mate, is Sri Lankan. And then we've got John and me. So the 3 of us together makes an Oreo.
We're an Oreo.
So it's called the Oreo Night. I was working Saturday night. I was going to go out, try to finish up by 11, 12. Then I was going to drive to Pakolbin at 2 o'clock in the morning.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro. It's like I had already made all these plans.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I messed that up, right? Because when I rebooked the hot air balloon, I didn't check my calendar. And it was like, they're like, oh, we're free on this day. I go, okay, cool. 18th is it is. Last time I had booked a hotel room.
Yeah.
Right? So... and when they cancelled it, I go, fuck, I've already got the hotel room. So this time I was like, you know what? We'll not get a hotel. We'll just drive at early hours of the morning. Right? Because we have to be there like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, right? So I'm like, I won't get a room. And then I'm like, oh no, I've got to... and I didn't have the balls to say to you guys, bro, I fucked up. So let's change the date. So I was going
we'd all fucked up.
So I was going to go Oreo. And I was going to still do it. I was going to go through with the whole thing. I was just going to try not to like drink too much, you know?
Oh my God.
And then go to Pakolbin at 2 o'clock in the morning, drive to do the hot air balloon, do the morning, they have a morning breakfast there.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was going to drive back, have an afternoon nap, and then come to the shoot today.
Oh my God.
This was my fucking weekend, bro. But... 2 of those out of all of that things like just didn't happen. But the Oreo night didn't end up happening, and the hot air balloon didn't end up happening. So
yeah, no, it was even when I got to, so I called Gaj back and I said, okay, good news and bad news. Good news is I can go. The bad news is it's actually tomorrow night, so we don't have Oreo night. I said, oh fuck, I completely forgot about that. So even he forgot. Oh dear. Anyway, so here we are.
I think not last time, the time before, we talked about something, and you're telling me your experience in France, or what you used to do there.
Oh, was that the oyster story?
Huh?
Was that the oyster story when I was talking about oysters?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I think we had oysters, huh?
That wasn't a good story. That was a terrible story. That was okay. So I went when I was working for Bicardi. They sent us over to London to do. Oh, it was actually France, to do a 3-day or a 4-day brand ambassador conference for Grey Goose.
Right.
And while we were there, the powers that be said, well, 3 days, it's a long way to go for a 3-day conference, so we'll send you over there for 2 weeks. So we went and had a look at some distilleries in London and ended up in France, the south of France, in Marseille, and we were down in Noilly Prat and Dom Benedictine. Dom Benedictine's made in a 15th century chalet. And
really?
So so we got, so it's the original chalet. So it's like a monastery.
Yeah.
And so myself and the guy I was travelling with from Australia, we went there for a private visit the night before. We were supposed to go there for a tour.
Yes.
And so the guy opened it up. We were in his office in the monastery. We were taste testing these different types of Dom Benedictine, and then took us down onto the floor, turned the lights on. We had a look at all of the different botanicals that go into making this product, and it was just a private visit for the two of us. And it was phenomenal. Yeah, it's one of those moments in time where and then the next day we went back and did the actual tour where, tourists come in and do the whole thing.
Nice, bro.
So it was cool. It was good.
You worked for Bicardi as well, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, brand ambassador for Bicardi. That was a good job. That was a fun job. That was a young man's job.
Yeah. Nice. Cool, man. All right, we are going to, let me just show you this, and then that's your haircut. Nice and tidy.
Mercy buckets. Thank you.
Cool. So we're going to take a small little break. I'm going to do a little wash, and we'll come back in a second. All right, let me turn this channel now. All right, bro. What does AGOGA mean? Am I pronouncing that right?
First of all, well done. You've pronounced it correctly. Yeah, it's not AGOGA, it's AGOGA.
AGOGA, yeah?
Yeah, it's AGOGA. So it's a Spartan word. It refers to a class of warrior citizens.
Okay, so like Spartan warriors, basically.
Kind of, yeah. It's a good way to look at it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
And these people were called AGOGA?
Well, the word is actually AGOGA. So the word AGOGA is specific to what we've created down here. So it's very similar. Spartan word to a training regime for people who just took fitness as a daily occurrence. So back in those days, the access to gyms was seen as a right for their people.
Right.
Getting access to quality food was seen as a right. It wasn't seen as
a luxury item or something
correct,
like that.
not a hierarchical
Wow,
thing. So,
understood.
Human right to be able to have access to every gym and have access to good food and everything. So let thy food be thy medicine. Yeah, so that was that. Yeah, so eat healthy, train well. So that's the intent.
Wow.
So we've now taken that and moved it into more of a fitness regime in that it's the way we create our programs is based on the learnings of athletes from around the world. That we adapt their mindset or their approach to training, and then we put that into our own programs. In some instances, there are some direct correlations with the exercises that some athletes use, or sometimes it might be based on focus on how important they consider sleep to be the night before a big match or a grand final or Super Bowl or whatever the sport is.
Right.
When you hear an athlete speak about the importance of having a good breakfast or eating high-end carbs before a big run the next day, or the importance of sleep on a regular basis, and you think, I've got kids or I've got a tough job to do.
Yeah.
If they put it in a very high regard, then it kind of makes sense that if my everyday athlete can put it in high regard, how much better that they would feel on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So
wow.
So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to promote the fact that this shit actually works. Just do it regularly and you're fine.
Wow.
That's it. Yep.
Nice, man. Fair enough. You are what you eat in a sense, right?
Essentially, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So every weekend I should be a Tim Tam. That's my weakness.
Well, you can call me a cunt then, I guess. And there it is.
There it is. And cut.
And we're doing the same thing with the beer, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Can I separate this and bring this down a little bit?
You can do that if you like, yeah.
Cool. No, that's
Okay, that's you.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Yeah.
I plan to be the one that oversees the growth of the PTs that run it, so I can help them be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
That's where I see myself. So
it's more management than we get into, and you're not actually hands-on physically right
Correct.
now. You're working on the business, not in the business anymore.
That's been my intention since I bought it. Yeah. It's super tough to be able to do, but it's
fair, man.
Yeah, trials and tribulations of a small business owner.
That is my thing as well, right? I mean, I am very passionate about the work I do. I love that I get to be artistic every day. I love that I put smiles on people's faces, you see them have like a little spring in their step when they leave the shop, and I love that. But the thing is, I do struggle to get out of the labor-intensive part of the work.
Yeah.
And to get into the part where I can manage, you know. So hence why I always ask you questions every time, like, hey man, what can I do here? What can I do there? You know?
The trouble that you and I face is that we're very good at what we do when it comes to this part of it.
Yes.
So if I have a tough day, what makes me happy is to put myself in front of someone else and help them with their issues. Right, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah.
But that limits me, because if I don't put myself in an uncomfortable position of going, okay, in order for me to grow this business, I need to become more of an administrative person. I need to understand the back end of this business. I need to do more sitting down in front of a laptop and building, putting my thoughts down on paper and creating structure, rather than going to do what's easy. And so the more I do that, the more that becomes easier, the more it becomes the norm.
Because it's written in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just your thoughts.
Yeah.
See, that's where I struggle.
Yeah. Because May is generally a quieter month, and people go away, they put their memberships on suspension because they go away to warmer climates.
Yes.
And I accept that. That's just nothing you can change. You can only control what you can control. So I look after as much as I can the people that are in the studio. Yep. And given that I've now got a team of 6, I've tasked them all, and it's competition throughout this month, where they get 5 points for every correctly identified key piece of information they get when they're challenged on one person. So I'll walk in, I won't tell them when I'm walking in, I'll say, tell me about that guy over there in the blue t-shirt. They get a point for their first name, their last name, their goal, their injury, and an X factor.
Yeah.
And
the X factor is like what football team do they support or something like that. How many children they have.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They can't say they're from the UK because their accent gave that shit away already. So it's got to be something that's an X factor.
Something that you have figured out by asking them questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've jumped on this. Like they're writing notes down at the start of a class. Like that. It's phenomenal how quickly they have bought in to the importance of doing this, because like I said, everyone wants to feel recognised, and that's it. Like my gym is like your barber. We're 4 walls, weights, and air conditioning.
Yeah.
Same here. 4 walls, weights, and scissors.
Yeah.
Not weights. 4 walls, scissors, and air conditioning.
Air conditioning, yeah.
But it's the same thing. You can go to any barber, but you can't get you.
Yeah.
People come to a barber, but they stay because of you.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this with the team.
Before I continue, let's do this hot towel first.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right. So I'll get you to rest your legs on here for me, please. Thank you. And lift up your head 1 second. And lean back, please. Thank you. Are you comfortable, my bro?
I am.
I guess this will go in the intermission. Bro, I love the way we did the last intermission. That was good. Yeah, that was fantastic. So,
Are you still rolling?
yeah, we're rolling right now, yeah.
It's burning!
I will go to, is the temperature okay? And he's like, yeah, it's good. Are we still rolling? It's burning!
Face is peeling.
Oh, bro. Bro, by the way, I love your dog, bro. He's such a cutie.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's a dog. What was his name again?
Austin.
Austin.
Yeah.
I went to Para Westfield after like fucking 6 years or something, bro. Man, that place has changed.
Parramatta.
Yeah. Para Westfields. Yeah, all the nice shops there. Like, if you want to buy good clothes, man, it's got like very cool stores. Anyway, I went into the Lego store and I'm just looking at stuff, and the sales guy comes in and he's doing his job obviously. So he comes in and goes, "Hey man, like, can I help you?" I go, "No, I'm just having a look." And he goes, "Oh, you should try and get this car here." I go, "Yeah, I already have that one." I go, "Oh, you do? Oh yeah, cool. I'm like, "Yeah." And then me being me, I'll go, "Yeah, like for example, the Ferrari F1 car, it's got 1,300 something pieces, I think. But I still want to get the Red Bull because that one has the 1,900 pieces. I think that's what it is, right?" So I started to like throw out facts. Oh, okay. So you are really into it. I go, "Yeah, bro, I'm a bit of a collector, Showed him all my photos and everything. And I go, "Wow, man, this stuff is really cool." And I found a sneaker store there as well. There are these 2 shoes that I really want to have in my collection. One is these Jordan 1s in this baby blue color. Yeah, they're called University Blue. I get $800 for a pair of Jordans, man.
Jesus.
It's like, yeah, but they're collectible. They don't make them anymore, blah, blah, this and that. And there's this other one called Spider-Verse. No, the Multiverse. They're like Spider-Man Jordan 1s, but like with multiverse colors on it. It's like red and white with faded red and all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. Yeah, so. How long have you lived in Bondi now, bro?
That's a good question. I want to say 10 years, 11 years. It's going to be somewhere. I feel like when you've lived somewhere for 10 years, anything past that, you just keep saying 10 years.
Yeah, fair enough.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit longer, but yeah.
Fair enough, man. What do you think of Bondi? Do you like it? What, has it changed a lot in the last 10 years since you've been there?
Yeah, look, a little bit.
In a positive way, negative way?
Well, since COVID, there are a lot of holes in the wall along Bondi Road, which is sad to see. A lot of small businesses that couldn't pick a float.
Yep.
And then since COVID, the rental market has become so ridiculously high that trying to get a property or get a lease for a business where you can make a profit on Bondi Road has become increasingly tough.
Yeah, man.
So there's still a lot of holes in the wall on Bondi Road.
Yeah. I inquired about, shops to start a barbershop in Bondi, right?
Yeah.
To have clientele over there as well with the same, system as mine. And I was like, bro, how are you going to make money out of this? Like, it's like, how ridiculous is the rent? Like, if you have to pay, more than half of your take into rent,
it's tough.
How do you pay bills? How do you pay your insurances and taxes and super? And
that's been the question that a lot of small businesses have asked themselves, and they've ended up having to move out.
Yeah, man.
Super challenging.
Yeah, man.
Super challenging.
Oh, you make your own gin as well, right?
We do. We make a batch every year.
Yeah, I remember when I was at your place, you had...
AGOGA.
Yeah, AGOGA. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, so tell me about that. How does that work?
Well, I wanted to hold on a little bit of my history and bring it into this current job.
Yeah, okay, because you were in the liquor business for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. So it's nice to have a gin that's named after your business.
Right,
So
nice.
we created the ingredients 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Like all the botanicals and stuff like that, yes.
Yeah. So the recipe stayed with us, and we do a run of that gin at the end of every year.
Yes.
And then that goes into either a 200ml bottle, which we give to our top 8 best performing members across 3 different modalities of training, whether it's strength or cardio endurance.
Yes.
Or power, speed and power.
Yep.
And then the top 8 best performing athletes across all training sessions, they get a 700ml bottle with their name on the bottle and the amount of sessions they attended for that year.
Yes.
And then a goodie bag and bits and pieces. So it's their Go Gin, and the awards night is called the AGOGAs. Like the Logies.
Yeah. The AGOGAs.
The AGOGAs. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's our Christmas party.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. What's your poison, bro? What do you like to drink?
It depends on the occasion. If I'm going out to dinner, it'll be a Negroni to start.
A Negroni, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
If
Sorry, what'd you just call me? Yeah, go on.
If it's any other day, maybe a margarita.
Yeah, nice.
Margaritas are good.
Yeah, nice.
Like, I'm a fan of most things. If it's spirit-based, tequila is my poison.
Tequila, man.
Yeah, tequila on ice, tequila with ginger beer. Tequila, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, there's a bit of a weight line. I've kind of left that on purpose because when you style it, you want that hair to kind of go like that.
Sweet.
So, but when you have a shower, after a shower, you'll see there's like all this hair sitting. It's both sides like that.
Yeah.
So just make sure you just kind of push it forward. Apparently, now I don't know how true this is. The BMW.
Oh, yes, I've heard this too.
Yeah, the front grille.
Yeah, based on his moustache.
Is based on his moustache.
Yeah.
Because who designs a fucking grill like that? Why did they have to split it into 2 squares? And
to be honest, I don't know that that was his moustache, but I don't know that was his design to start. As in, I think that was already a thing.
Was it? Before he was around?
So
right.
So while everyone thinks it's designed off of his moustache, I think it's just that moustache.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like, no one has that name anymore, huh?
Yeah, no one
has that name anymore.
You're not calling your youngest Adolf, no.
Yeah. No one has that moustache anymore because people get upset at you if you have that moustache.
Yeah.
Well, that used to be a style. Anyways, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Mate, thank you.
And yeah, that's it. Cool. Done.
Cheers.
I got you.